So this is interesting. Young Wei Koo got benched. The Falcons benched their kicker after missing last week's game tying field goal versus the Buccaneers. He is 12 for 20 in his last 20 kicks. So he only made 12 of them. He missed 8 of them. So that's also a factor. But we also saw Jake Moody also get, canned. Well, not canned, but he got benched and replaced in 49ers. So this is a kind of a different NFL, I guess. But it's funny because the one thing about kicking is it's all mental. A lot of people have a leg that can kick a field goal, especially a long field goal. But it's all about the mental of being able to kick it in tough situations, very gritty situations where, you have to deal with all the pressure, all the comments, all the crap, but be able to keep that, calmness to you to be able to hit the 60-yard field goal in the AFC Championship game, right? Like, that's really what kicking is. It's all mental. You miss one field goal, and now that's in your head, you're going to overthink it, and you're probably going to miss another field goal throughout the game. Once you start missing too many field goals, it's in your head, and you start to kind of fall off your end of your career. And we see this all the time with kickers when they start to, I don't say go bad, but they start to really suck is because they overthink it. They miss a couple field goals. It gets in their head. They're thinking too much about it. And next thing you know, they're just not the same kicker they used to be because of that. Now, I will say, I feel like the mentality of, okay, Young Ho Koo missed a field goal. Yup, that's it. GG. We're going to, bench him. Kind of sets a bad principle moving forward. Again, for a position that really is just very volatile when it comes to this type of stuff of, like, again, all mental stuff. So, it is what it is. That's just football. That's just how football works. But I very interested in this whole situation because here in Cincinnati, we've dealt with it kickers, right? Evan McPherson last year did not look good before he got, obviously benched in the end. Well, not benched. He got hurt. And we had to go with Cade York. But for Evan McPherson last year, he definitely struggled greatly. And there's a situation where you could have made the argument that, you moved on from him, depending on, with how bad he was playing. But again, at the same time, you kind of say, okay, well, we trust him. We hope he's going to figure things out. We think he'll figure things out, right? You kind of go back to the drawing board. Everything gets figured out. This year so far has been pretty good. Excited for him. But it's the worst thing you could do is have that kind of like over-the-shoulder type of, okay, if you mess up again, this is it. Like, we're not messing with you. If you go out there and you suck, GG, like, we're going to bench you. That's, like, the worst thing to do with kickers. Like, you don't... I don't know. That's very interesting again. Looking at his stat line, because Young Ho Koo, he's one of the best kickers. He's up there for one of the best kickers, it feels like. So, obviously... This last game, he made 2 of his 3 kicks. Obviously, the one missing was the one that was the game-tying field goal, which definitely doesn't help across the board for this argument. But, like, last year, he did miss 11 kicks, which obviously is not the greatest. He still hit at a 73.5 percentage, which, again, not really what he normally hits at. He normally hits at, like, an 86 plus. Which he did the last 2 years before that. He had 86.5, 86.5, 93.1, 94.9, 88.5, and then obviously year one with the Chargers, he was at a 50. But still, like, he definitely had a bad year last year. Definitely wasn't the greatest. But then just to get rid of the guy, not get rid of him, but bench him that quickly, like, that's going to always be in his head. At this point, I don't know why they benched him. They should have just cut him. Like, and that's kind of how it is with kickers. If you tell your kicker, like, hey, listen, we're going to go with someone else here because, like, you suck pretty much right now, that's going to be in their head, and they're never going to forget that. And every single kick moving forward, they're always going to think about that. They're always going to think, hey, if I miss this kick, it's over. I can't miss this kick. They're going to overthink it, project it, and it's going to end up costing you the game, and it's going to end up costing them, like, they're just going to, fall off as a kicker. So, it's interesting, too. Again, like I said, because we are personally affected by the whole kicking problem with last year with Evan McPherson, and then Cade York came in. He looked good, but he ended up not being the kicker that we thought he was. And it's just like, yeah, this is why a lot of times kicking, I feel like teams are very more reluctant with kickers than other positions, because it's like, okay, you don't want to get them in that mental headspace of, oh, like, they miss this field goal and it's over. You kind of want them to have that mental preparation of being ready. Everything is fine. Everything is good. Let's just get back to work. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is one of those situations. So, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. What do you think of the fact of, this mentality? Obviously, again, we very much opinionated because we dealt with bad kicking last year. And we lost games last year and didn't make the playoffs because of bad kicking. So, should this be a thing where, like, you miss a game-winning field goal with GG? Because look at us. I mean, we had that Chargers game where we missed 2 game-winning field goals. And we ended up, obviously losing. And then, in the end, you missed the playoffs. And it's like, hey, if you would have made that game, you would have won the playoffs. So, but again, it's that mentality of, once you do this to a kicker, it's GG, bro. You need to move on. You got to leave him where he was and just get a new kicker, because you are going to destroy him mentally. And every time he kicks moving forward, that's all they're going to think about is, if I miss this kick, it's over. If I miss this kick, I'm done with, pretty much. But interesting indeed.